Hello, my name is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Now, last time we got together, we talked about how to create memories. And I said that would take a couple of videos. And so this is the second one in that series. And you may notice that the board has a lot of the same model that was on in the last video. So I'm going to go over that a little bit and then tell you what I added, and then we'll go from there. Now, I have a little Formosan gunpowder green tea, because the leaves are wound in such a way that they look like gunpowder. So, in the last video, we had our senses, our five senses, as the antenna that looks out into the world around us, into the atmosphere, and brings to us information. Now, the information, I see certain things. Now, I don't mean see like seeing objects. I mean it absorbs certain kinds of information. And smell does the same thing. Taste, the same thing. They're designed to pick up certain information. And to convert that information into something that we can use inside of us. So the outside, the big circle, is the body. And the information from the senses goes through the body and does not leave any information in the body, because the body can't use the raw data, can't use it for anything. So it moves through the body. The organs, like your eyes and your ears, tongue and so forth, are in the body, but the information doesn't go to the body. It has to be interpreted. Has to be interpreted before it can be used. Now, what do we use for the Rosetta Stone, the transformation from the unknown into what is valuable and needed? Our past experiences, which are memories. So as the information comes in through all our senses, it must be interpreted in the present moment to know what is happening outside. You see, we don't know what's happening outside until we have an interpretation by your past, which is in the subconscious mind. Isn't that interesting? The subconscious holds all your memories, all your experiences, all your beliefs, all your moral judgments, holds all that stuff. And so you take the information in. The eye, none of the senses, taste, none of the senses filter the information. For instance, your eye. You look at something and it's gross. Oh, it's terrible. Roadkill or something. You say, oh, I don't want to look at that. It's not your eye that does that. And the information still goes in. It is your interpretation on the inside that makes that call. How quick does it do it? That quick. So quick that you think the eye is turning away. Remember, the eye in your head, the muscles in your neck, cannot operate without signals from the brain. Got to have signals. No movement in the body is because of the body. It's always because of the mind's interpretation of the information. So we're going to talk about how quickly that happens. So it is, now here, the little inside the big circle, the little circle is your subconscious, where you carry all the stuff and where you take the information and filter it, or determine what is meaningful and what is not. Coming from the outside, it's all meaningless until you go through your life experiences very, 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 very quickly and make a determination. Is this meaningful for me or not? And so you cherry pick. I like that word. You cherry pick the information and then send that as a signal into this inner part, which is the cauldron, that makes your world. It's moving, it's undulating all the time based upon the information flow from the outside through your filtering process and then creating your world. Now on the inside, in that cauldron, I have the mind, the brain, and it's hard to see here, so I got to tell you what it is here in the center. The central nervous system. The central nervous system. Because that's where the communication all goes throughout the body. That's what makes your head turn. Process is made in the brain. Signal is sent out through the central nervous system. And then you turn your head. Or you don't. Or you bend your head to listen to the music. Or you smile because you like what you see. All of that is done through this central part. Now, how fast is this operating? I have to find a place. I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to take this off. But as a reminder, anytime you say, oh, there's a car, there's a tree, there's a house, there's a camera, it is as perception because you made an interpretation a judgment about the energy that you received flowing through to you from that particular item. Perception, every time you say a perception, or I see, I hear, I touch, it's an interpretation that you already made. So we're going to take that off because I want to make another point. And it's around processing. You know that your senses are basically instruments. And we can test them pretty good in most situations. So we know how much data they transmit. So in general, now each one of them is different, okay? But in general, it's about 11 million bits of data per second. So I'm going to put that down. Now you can check that on Google. They'd be glad to work with you. Bits. Data per second. A lot of information. Now, you have the subconscious mind that is the filtering process for all of this information. By the way, most of it is from the eyes. Most of it is from the eyes. About, of this 11 million bits of data per second, about 10 million is from the eyes. The other ones, they divide up the rest of it. I still got a little sniffle, so I have to take care of it every once in a while. Now, how fast does the subconscious mind process information? Well, that's kind of difficult for a couple of reasons. One, we don't know where the subconscious mind is. So we have to be very sneaky, I don't say sneaky, cautious on how we describe that. Now that's been done by several different organizations, and I reference one of them in the description of the video, but it is somewhere around, I gotta make sure we're talking about the senses. Now we're talking about I better get another marker. 4 billion, 400 billion bits of data per second. 400 billion. So we have 11 million coming in. The subconscious mind operates somewhere around 400 billion. The conscious mind will never know that the input information from the senses was ever filtered, was ever changed, stuff taken out of it. Just don't know. So now, And it's going on all the time, very fast. And out of that filtering process of the subconscious mind, we develop our world in the center. That's why I call this the cauldron, because there's a lot of heat going on, a lot of stuff moving around. So, what about the conscious mind? Well, we're making your world in here based upon your past experiences. So your current world that you are experiencing right now is because of your past. It's not because of what's happening right now. It's because of your past. Now we'll get back to that because I made this point before. How important are your memories and your belief systems? They create your world. And they create the present world from the past. And there's nothing in the past except memories. And whose memories? Your memories. So now you can see how quick this is, and how when you see something that you don't like roadkill, faster than a speeding bullet, you can turn your head because you already made a judgment. I don't want to see this. I don't want to touch this. I don't want to deal with this. How fast is that? Millions to billions of bits of data per second. So you're creating in here every second worlds. And then you're projecting them out here and making a judgment in there. And believing that it's all out here. All out here. So, there's your world. And now your conscious mind comes into effect. Conscious mind observes this inner construction. Now, what's your belief system? Your belief system is, well, there's a real outside world. With that belief, beliefs are very powerful. With that belief, your conscious mind projects this onto the outside energy system. And you will see, you will smell, you will touch this projection out here as a secondary reality. Primary is in here. Secondary reality, and you will say, oh, my eyes are perceiving roadkill. Oh, my nose is smelling tomato sauce. My taste buds, I can taste the air in my mouth, and it feels like decay, road decay. I can hear traffic going by. I can touch the cement. I can touch the whiteboard. I can touch. These are all perceptions after there is an interpretation of the data coming from the outside. Now, how fast does the conscious mind operate? Again, because we're conscious, we got a pretty good idea. And a lot of studies on many people who have to manipulate data very quickly, like athletes, like concert conductors that are conducting a whole orchestra, all kinds of people. The maximum is 100 bits per second. Average 40. Average 40. Oh no, I must do more than that. My conscious mind must do more than that. Doesn't. Your conscious mind knows little about what's happening. Now, we got to talk about another truism. And it is this. The truth isn't important. That's the bottom line. The truth isn't important. What is important is what you believe the truth is. That's what's important, what you believe it is. And you've been programmed pretty completely by the egoic world. And so in the Newtonian world, you have a way of looking at this model which is far different than my explanation. You run your world on your belief system. And if your belief system says, my eye sees objects, when I say, no, it doesn't, you get upset at me. And say, well, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Because I know. No, you don't. You've been programmed to see your world a certain way, and that's your belief system. And for me to try to change it, very difficult. So I'm not trying to change it. I'm trying to poke it so that you begin to see some holes in it and begin to do your own reprogramming. So the eyes, the nose, the taste, the hearing, the touch, all operate at millions of bits of data per second. The subconscious mind operates at billions. And they interact. And this cauldron is always changing. It's always active. Your conscious mind, which is what you believe, because it's the only mind that talks your language. This isn't in language. This communication is in electromagnetic and chemical signals. Conscious mind talks your language. The conscious mind says, well, I see a house out there. I see a lamp. Got to be there. No, it doesn't. It is an interpretation in the mind that you perceive in the outside world. What's outside of you? Nothing but energy. Oh, we have much to talk about here in the illusion. And until we get back together again, be good to yourself. Have as much fun in the illusion as you can. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time we get together here in the illusion. Bye now.